It's a late night here in the United Kingdom, but the London Knights fans are ready for a party and a scoring fest. London hosts the New Orleans Pharaohs as the Week 4 of Simulation Football League action continues here on 11 Sports and for the fans. Alongside Gerald Smith, doing on stats, Charles Doherty, my analyst. I'm Cameron Irvine. Good evening, Charles.
Good evening, Mr. Cam. How are you?
I am wonderful. London and New Orleans, a battle of 1 and 2 teams and 2 teams that don't play very much defense. Both give up an average of about 36 points a game if you combine it. So, Charles, this game will probably end 6-3. Let's hope not.
Oh, definitely. Both teams are looking to bounce back from big losses last week. New Orleans lost a gut-wrencher to the St. Louis Gladiators, while London lost in a wild shootout against Vancouver. Like you said, both teams have shown the ability to put a lot of score a lot of points on the board, but also they let their opponents score a lot. Pressure's on both of the defensive squads here to slow down the opponents. I think this game is going to be won by the team that scores last.
New Orleans defers. The wind is 9 miles an hour tonight. Shouldn't be too much of a problem. And we are almost ready for kickoff. What do you think, Charles? Nice night?
Great night. Great night. Great night for football.
Great night for football indeed. London and New Orleans. This is the SFL. And kick it. We're underway. Gabriel Manning on the return past the 30. No defense tonight. Manning 30, 20, 10, and a touchdown for London on the opening kickoff.
And now we have Gabriel Manning's first kickoff return of the season. That makes 27th, I believe, for a career. The man is a beast on special teams. One of the keys for New Orleans is to stop that man when he gets a kick return and a punt return. He's just unbelievably skilled. He can get around that blocking, go through a hole, and just explode into the end zone.
So Gabriel Manning gets the first points up on the board. New Orleans will play from behind right away. And the extra point is coming up for the London kicker. That's J.T. Delaney, signed this week.
Well, that was fast, Cam. Right off the board, we have points. That's incredible. I think we're going to have to hold on tight here because this scoreboard's going to be heating up.
The extra point is up and good, and it's 7-0. London over New Orleans, 11 seconds into the ball game, and we didn't even get a chance to settle in. And guess what? Aaron Arrington back to return the kick, and who knows?
He's dangerous as well. He's been known to take it into the end zone. Let's see what he can do.
London in their all reds tonight with the white helmets, yellow numbers. New Orleans wearing their NOLA Knights uniforms, black helmets, white jerseys, black pants. It's a sharp look with the purple numbers and gold trim. Arrington returns it out to the 20. So the Pharaohs begin actually on offense first with Xander Gold in his 4th season. 6'5", 230 quarterback, and he is a gunslinger if I've ever seen one.
He definitely is. He's leading the league in passing yards. He's tied for 3rd in touchdowns and number 4 in QBR. He definitely knows what he's doing when he gets that snap.
2 in the backfield for Gold and 7 in the box. A 3-4 look at a London's defense. The handoff on the first play goes to Reggie Streeter. Welcome back to London, to the New Orleans 47-yard line. Streeter, the former Knight, dealt in the offseason and actually joined New Orleans as a free agent after being released. And what a time to be Reggie Streeter.
Great blocking up front. And one of the things I was excited for about this matchup was how Streeter was going to play. He's coming back, like you said, against his old team, and he wants to put some yards on the board, and he wants to also put some points on the board. And that first run, man, that could be a long game if he keeps running like that.
1st and 10 at the 47, 10:15 to go in the first, and already we've hit on a couple of major storylines tonight, and we just are getting underway. Hand off to Streeter. He'll bounce it back inside and pick up 3 to midfield, where he's wrapped up by Stephen Cleland, the rookie free agent at linebacker.
Now, on that play, he didn't get a lot of yards, but it shows you how dangerous he is. He's very smart. The first hole was closed up, and he had the wherewithal to bounce out and go into another gap and got a positive gain out of it.
2nd down and 7 at midfield. And Streeter this time loses a yard, and he'll go back into his own territory. That wrap-up made by Jack Russell, another undrafted free agent. Very young defense, this London Knights squad.
Very young. Yeah, that's going to be one of the other storylines we're going to be talking about. Ageloni and Powell going up against 2 rookie cornerbacks in Brandon Ewan and Devin Say.
Still not a pass for Xander Gold, but that'll change here. 3rd and 8 at the 49-yard line. 9:12 to go in the first quarter. 7-0 London. Gold back to pass. Quick out route Powell, and Powell actually out of bounds. Wouldn't have much mattered anyway, and I don't think that was the route that Coach Arrington was looking for, and New Orleans will have to punt.
And he was trying to put the football in his jersey, too. That picture.
Yeah, what's up with that? Almost like he's
wanted
shoplifting.
to take it home.
Malls have it bad enough these days. And the punt will come from Gordon Grasmanis of New Orleans. And we'll get our first look at London's offense coming up. Manning, to New Orleans' pleasure, calls for a fair catch at the 21-yard line. Angus McLean is the quarterback for the Knights in his 2nd season. Spent his rookie season with San Francisco, and he has had one heck of a career, and it's just getting started. McLean actually joined the Sharks midseason last year. His first game was at the Live Convention, which we have every summer in 2019. He spent the remainder of that season with the Sharks. Relative success. Ended up coming to London in free agency. Was one of the biggest free agent signings of the offseason in the SFL. And his pass is intercepted, and it's a touchdown for New Orleans. Rolliman Hood with the pick 6. We have a special teams and a defensive touchdown in the first 2.5 minutes of the game.
Last week, Rolliman Hood had an interception as well. This is his 3rd interception of the season. He was clocking that ball right from the snap. There was no way that ball was going to get to the wide receiver.
8:48 left, and in a night where we thought for sure, Charles, we were going to have a bunch of offense, we've had a bunch of defense and special teams.
That's crazy.
4 touchdowns, and Rolliman Hood makes the play for the Pharaohs, and the extra point coming from Austin Powers is groovy, baby. We're tied at 7.
There's 14 points on the board, and we only have 1 offensive first down, I believe, right?
1 offensive first down is correct, yes. Was it?
It was a run, right, from
that's
Streeter.
Right. Yeah, Reggie Streeter.
I think,
But,
I'm getting old. It's
but not a first down through the air.
Right, exactly.
Just the one incompletion from Gold, and we haven't even seen McLean on the field yet. And from the 7-yard line, this is Manning on the return past the 20-25. Manning spins away, gets to the 30 with 8:43 to go in the first quarter. So let's meet some of the rest of this London offense. Jason Williams, running back, comes over from Oklahoma City. JQ at fullback, a week 2 signing. Saren Storm, rookie sensation, the 41st pick in the draft, looking like a steal out of the 3rd round right now, along with Manning. Vin Kalia was signed in week 3. He's a wide receiver, number 19. Robert Garrett Jr. is the tight end in his 2nd season. And Evan Wood, another tight end, and also selected in the 3rd round to keep an eye on. McLean is sacked. Zig Washington in his 4th season by way of Vancouver makes the play, a loss of 4.
Yeah, Zig, that's his 3.5 sack for the season. That's what you have to do against Angus. You have to get pressure on him and not let him go through his progressions. Because the longer he holds on to the ball, the longer it looks like he's going to put it into turnover or sack time.
2nd down and 14 at the 26. 3 receivers, 2 to either side, or 2 to the left side, rather. 2 in the backfield with a nickel look out of the NOLA defense. McLean dumps it off to Williams. And Jason Williams will find 5 yards to bring up 3rd and 9 for London.
Yeah, you got to get Williams involved in this ball game. I mean, even though, he doesn't have a ton of touchdowns, he does prove to move the ball with a pretty high yard per carry.
7:45 to go in the first. Another I formation look. It looks like they flipped it. Flipped the formation. That is, McLean is going deep down the field, and he's got a man. Manning! Manning breaks the tackle, and Gabriel Manning's going to score his 4th receiving touchdown of the year as he dances and sort of talks some smack to the Pharaohs on his way to the end zone. And McLean, I didn't know he had that type of arm. What a throw.
Yeah, that was a great throw, but Manning had to go in there and fight for it a bit as well. So he's got a touchdown on kick return and a touchdown on the field with a reception. He's player of the game so far.
Dante West, the free safety, was the man that had a chance to bring him down. And, boy, Manning almost got caught by West there at the end of it, but finally scampers into the end zone, and Gabriel Manning now with 4 receiving touchdowns. If you can believe it, Charles, is 2 off tying his career high despite having such a tremendous career now in his 5th season.
Yeah, I think he's gonna catch up. I mean, once as Saren Storm gets more comfortable in the league, they're gonna have to put some coverage on him as well. So it's not gonna be quite easy defending both of them.
The extra point by Delaney is good, and let's catch our breath. 14-7 with 7:33 to go in the first quarter. London on top of New Orleans. Don't go anywhere. You're not going to want to miss this fireworks show. Back here in Queensway, here in London in the United Kingdom, and the Knights 1-2 lost last week to Vancouver 52-41. New Orleans lost last week to St. Louis 37-31, so both trying to avoid losing streaks. Arrington on the return past the 20 to the 23, and Charles, people at home might be wondering, well, why was this so expected? Well, the last time these two teams met, Reggie Streeter had broken SFL record with 427 rushing yards. Deezer Powell had 248 receiving yards and 4 touchdowns, and London beat New Orleans 59-44.
That was a crazy game. Let's see if they break any records tonight. They're on pace for doing some crazy stuff so far.
That was back in August of last year. 1st and 10 at the 23. Gold to pass, and Gold will complete his first ball tonight, but it won't go for anything. Checking that down in the slot to Eric Arrington, and no gain brings up 2nd and 10.
Yep, let's see if they keep handing the ball off to Streeter here. He's shown he's got some juice tonight.
2nd down and 10 at the 24. 2 receivers either side. Gold changing the play. 6:55 to go in the first, and Gold will fire it deep down the field. That pass is caught by Powell. Powell against the rookie corner, just reached out and grabbed it. It was like go-go gadget arms, and the Pharaohs have a first down.
Go gadget arms. That's funny. Gold had plenty of time in the pocket to throw that in. Yeah, that was insert sound effect here. He got it right where he needed to. I actually thought the ball was going to be at least deflected by the defender, but wow, what a pass. Great accuracy by Gold.
This New Orleans offense includes Gold, Streeter, Badir Islani. Keep an eye on him. These are Powell. Islani wears 14, Powell wears 17. Ermac Jackson, number 88. Yassine Clifton at tight end, number 87. 1st and 10 at the 45. Those are your offensive impact players, and Powell's got another catch. They mark him short of the first down.
That's a crazy mark.
Somebody has got to get
out the
that
red
ref
hanky.
a new prescription.
Somebody's got to get the red hanky out on this one.
I think you got to challenge that one.
So far, the New Orleans offensive line has given Gold plenty of time.
2nd and inches at the London 45. You're right, Charles. We haven't seen a lot of pressure. William Davidson has 5 sacks this season. He's one of the league leaders. Gold's out of the shotgun and drops back 3 steps, fires a short pass, and caught the 43-yard line to pick up the first down. A combo tackle there made by London's Stephen Cleland and Samuel Cassidy. And part of the reason why he's not getting a lot of pressure, Charles, is we were seeing a lot of quick passes so far tonight.
Yeah, and we're also seeing some 3-man fronts on the London side. So You really need to, blow it off the line to get some pressure on a quarterback when you're only rushing 3.
Yeah, seeing this 3-4 look at a London quite a bit tonight, actually. 3 wide, Gold floated over the top, pass is caught. First down to the 26-yard line of London, and you seen Clifton goes up for that one. Charles, did you happen to see Clifton's amazing one-handed catch late in the game against St. Louis?
Yes, I did. He's incredible.
Awesome.
6'7". I mean, that's quite the luxury for a quarterback to have a tight end at 6'7". And he doesn't get thrown the ball a lot. That's his 8th reception of the season. But his catching percentage is incredi%. He catches it 88% of the time he's thrown to.
You don't see a lot of 6'7" tight ends in the SFL anymore because a lot of teams like those hybrids that they can sort of move around all over the field. First and 10 of the night, 26, offside, free play for Gold. Gold's going long, wide open, caught Ajlani. And they'll decline the penalty and take a first and goal at the 9-yard line. And by the way, if you're part of the SFL community and you were looking to chat, the stream on Twitch is now operational. Apologize for the technical difficulties.
Yeah, I think they're going to decline this. Ajlani was wide open. They had a freebie here, and they made best use of it. Why not? Throw it down the field when you get them on defensive offside.
So Ajlani with his first catch, and a quick look at the updated statistics here so far for Gold. He's 5 for 6 for 49 yards. Powell's got 32, and Clifton's got 17 of those yards. Ajlani's catch will be added here momentarily as Streeter is smacked right at the line of scrimmage. That was big number 99, I believe, on that tackle. Actually, we're going to say it was number 91, Robin Murdoch.
I'm really impressed with this series and Xander Gold's accuracy. I mean, he's just been putting it on a rope.
Second and goal at the 8. 2 backs and 2 receivers. Ajlani bottom of the screen. Powell is in the slot. Gold, pump fake, fires off the fullback's hands and incomplete. That was a dangerous ball. There's Murdoch there again in coverage.
That was an accurate pass, but the fullback, I don't think he's, doesn't have the best hands on the team. Let's just say that from a reception standpoint.
New Orleans coming in, averaging 30.3 points per game. That's 4th. And they have the league's #1 passing attack at 391 yards per game out of Gold. 3rd and goal at the 8. 4:24 to go in the first. Gold fires it outside, and Powell, they rule it incomplete, which honestly, it looked like he had it.
It was hard to tell from this angle because his back was to us.
I'm not sure it's worth a challenge either because I think that the ball was outside of the plane.
Right. Well, here we go.
It'll give Coach Arrington a chance to get 2 looks at it. 1, did he catch it? And 2, did he reach that ball over the pylon? Let's look here.
See if we get a good angle.
Arrington might look like a genius after this.
Well,
we're not going to get the angle of the ball.
Well, yeah, that looks like it was in.
I think it's a catch, but the ball looked like it was outside the pylon. I don't think that's going to be a touchdown. Arrington's going to win the challenge, but where's the ball going to go? I think it's going to go on the 1, and I don't think early on in this season you can do much with it. And they actually mark it at the 2, so they're definitely not going to go for that. New Orleans will kick the field goal to be Powers' first attempt.
And they won it, and they got a bad spot.
Yeah, that's tough. I thought it at least got to the 1-yard line. Powers, a chip shot from 18 yards away. That snap is good, and the hole's good. And the kick is perfect. 14-10 is your new score. Back and forth we go in London. Winner gets the 500. You're watching the Simulation Football League on 11 Sports and For the Fans. .419 to go in the first quarter from London. It's 14-10, Knights over the Pharaohs. Gabriel Manning, the ever-dangerous Manning, back to return The kick from the 11-yard line. Manning past the 25, stops, puts the ball in his other hand, and gets the ball out to the 32-yard line. And for those of you viewing for the first time, what are you watching? The Simulation Football League is the first controllerless esport, allowing you, the viewer, to participate in all the action on the field without a controller in your hands. Visit simulation.football for details on how to get started with a team and in the league. First down at the 32 with 4:14 to go in the first frame. High formation, handoff goes to Williams. Williams behind JQ, the fullback, picks up 4.
Nice blocking up front, but I got to say, on that last drive London had, Angus McLean showed what kind of a cannon arm he has on that touchdown pass. I mean, it had to have been at least 50 yards in the air.
It's a 50-yard bomb. Officially, it goes down for 70, and that's Manning's catch. We have not seen Saren Storm make a play. He was electric last week. Mostly towards the right side of the quarterback tonight. If you're looking for him out there in the lineup, he wears number 12. Williams takes another carry. It'll set up a 3rd down and 3, and neither team has converted a 3rd down tonight.
You're right, and this is you got to get these 3rd downs going, but you also have to keep the momentum going for the offense. They had a great series last time. They need to keep building on it.
Trips off the left side for McLean on a 3rd and short. He's going to throw, and McLean's going deep down the middle. Caught by Storm for a first down to the New Orleans 35. Couldn't tell if the ref got in the way or not. It's a 27-yard pickup for Storm, and McLean's got an even 100. Vin Kalia, pardon me, on that last reception.
Yeah, McLean is bombing it tonight. I mean, wow, another good pass down the middle. Storm had all the space there to get that catch. I mean, a great route and a great read by McLean.
So Vin Kalia getting involved. 6'2", 201, signed in week 3. This team just this year has signed 5 different players since the start of the season of their 17 in the star lineup, as we call them here in the SFL. That is a lot of turnover, but London has weathered the storm well. 1-2, trying to get to 2-2. They have the lead tonight. Williams picks up 7.
Yeah, you'd say that a team that has that much turnover, it's hard to get some chemistry, but they're hanging in their games, and they're showing like they've been playing with each other for a long time.
2:18 to go in the first, and some of these weapons that McLean has, I mean, it is a scary offense for sure. 2nd and 3. McLean fires over the middle. Where is that going? Miscommunication. It looked like he might have been looking for Robert Garrett Jr., but he was running a completely different route, another 3rd down.
Yeah, it could have been a bad route run, but, thankfully for London, it wasn't picked off.
3rd down and 3 at the 28. Shout-outs to Twilight, Mince in Mind, Xander Gold, Ray Inyola, and many others in the Twitch chat. If you want to get involved while you watch the game and chatter with the league's owners, players, coaches, scouts, and fans, visit twitch.tv/FTF. Next, that pass is caught by Kalia down the middle of the field. Touchdown! Kalia on a seam, scores, and London's got 20 here in the first quarter.
Yeah, it's surprising that normally in the SFL you don't see the middle that wide open, and they showed on 2 occasions on this drive how wide open their wide receivers are getting on these routes.
Oh, they just got him matched up with a linebacker. That was number 98, Levant Irvine, out there, and that's just not fair. Slot receiver on a linebacker, you're toast.
Definitely, and that's Angus's, I believe that's his 9th touchdown of the season.
3rd down defense being discussed in the chat, and to that stat, the Pharaohs are, I believe, 18th in 3rd down defense. Check that. Actually 7th in 3rd down defense. Not too shabby, but having a tough time with London tonight. 1 for 3 on 3rd down, but obviously a critical conversion for the touchdown.
Yeah, that was a textbook drive by London.
So Delaney has been busy, the new kicker. He's got 3 extra points so far. And London has scored on all their possessions. Arrington on the return past the 20, and he is swallowed up by a sea of deep red And Gold will start another possession on his 24. And Charles, I don't think field goals are going to win this game tonight.
No, definitely not. On the last possession, New Orleans was driving well, but they stalled right with just short of the goal line. Let's see if they can keep that drive as well as they did last time, but maybe capitalize and get 7 points on the board.
1st and 10 at the 24. 2 minutes to go in the first quarter. Gold drops back to pass. Gold dumps it off.
That was
And
odd.
I think Reggie Streeter wanted to cut inside. Gold threw it outside, and Davidson was applying some pressure.
Yeah, I think the pressure is what threw Xander Gold off, and he made that interesting throw.
London on the defensive side gives up 34 and a third points per game. They're 20th against the run, 20th in total yards given up, and they've allowed 7 passing touchdowns so far this season, and that's music to Gold's ears. 2nd and 10 at the 24 off the audible. Xander Gold fires it deep down the field, and a diving play by Islani is caught for a first down to the 45-yard line, and Badir Islani has a couple of incredible catches in the first quarter.
Yeah, that was a highlight reel right there. He just dove out there and outstretched arms was able to pull that in. Not many people can hang on the ball when they hit the ground like that with the ball in their hands.
Islani, what a play with the trailing Marquise Reed behind him. The London defense, Joe Duncan, Matthew Braun, William Davidson, Stephen Cleveland, Telly Mack Scarborough in the front 7 as Gold rips a sidearm throw to Jackson for a first down to the 40. In the secondary for London, Brendan Ewing, Devin Say, Marquise Reed, and Jack Russell.
Yeah, that was a split-finger fastball right down the middle. He got rid of that ball. That had some speed on it.
That was a Pat Mahomes throw if I've ever seen one in the SFL. 1st and 10 now at the Knights 40, and Xander Gold is on a tear. 9 for 12 for a $109. McLean is 4 for 6 for 130 yards in this first quarter. Both quarterbacks on pace for over 400. That pass is incomplete. Davidson again there with the pressure. Not a sack yet tonight, but a couple of quarterback hits.
Yeah, it's big. I mean, even though it doesn't go down as a sack, I mean, that's what he needed to do. So far, he's starting to cause some problems for that offensive line. The offensive line started out pretty strong, but it looks like some holes are starting to open up.
Earlier today, Queen City won a defensive game over Arizona 20-9. Vice Wars was all Vegas 30-14. Tulsa narrowly defeated Houston 24-17. As Gold fires it outside again, wide open Badir Islani. And to finish up the recaps from today, Florida smashed Seattle 31-3, and Vancouver escaped Carolina after the Skyhawks nearly made a 21-point comeback.
Yeah, again, Angeloni's wide open. It looks like they gave away the 5 yards routes, and he was able to be wide open on that one because it looks like they're trying to put some pressure on the quarterback.
Yeah, it's been compelling just how wide open Islani has been, and on both of those it looked like maybe he ran a little corner route to the outside, and there was nobody in the field of vision. Clifton with the catch, 15-yard pickup. Wrap-up made by a couple, but Reed or Cleveland could have been there first. Take your pick.
Just like the last series, I mean, they're moving. Let's see what they do now that they're in the red zone.
Wow, lucky that that ball wasn't taken away from Clifton by his teammate Roman Vickers. But Clifton able to haul it in. 1st and goal at the 9 for New Orleans, trying to keep pace with London. Feels very much like that game back in August when these two teams were going tit for tat. Outside Reggie Streeter. Streeter inside the 5.
Good tackle.
And wrapped up.
Holy
nice
mackerel.
play by Jack Russell, putting down the former Knight. And that is the end of the first quarter of play. New Orleans on a drive, but London by 11. 21-10. You're watching the Simulation Football League on 11 Sports. And For the Fans, we'll be right back. Welcome back to Queensway in London, 21-10. Knights lead the Pharaohs, but New Orleans has the keys out. 2nd and goal at the 5. Again, 7 in the box, but just 3 down linemen for London. We've seen that a lot tonight as Gold's pass is incomplete. Looking for Powell, and he is waxed by Murdoch right at the goal line. That's the first time Powell's been targeted without a catch.
Yeah, the linebacking core was waiting on that goal line for that middle pass and defended it perfectly. This is a big 3rd down. 3 points as a field goal is okay, but I think they really need to get in the end zone to keep pace with London.
3rd and goal at the 5. See if Streeter maybe gets a touch here. Showing outside blitz. The Knights, they back off. They do rush. 4 and a sack up the middle. Came out of nowhere, it felt like. But that's Davidson who broke off his block, and let's get another look at that.
That was just incredible.
Thanks,
well,
Truck.
There we go.
Aren't they supposed to listen to the commissioner? You would think I'd have more pull around it. 25-yard chip shot here coming up for Austin Powers. Powers, a former London Knight, along with Reggie Streeter, making his return to London, released after season 11, and has been in New Orleans since. And that field goal is good, and it brings the score to 21-13. London up by 8.
Man, I wish I could have seen that on replay. That Davidson sack was incredible.
It almost looked like, I mean, he had a clean pocket, did Gold, and then almost instantly he was on the ground.
He was like a meteor that got shot into the backfield.
21-13, Manning back to return this kick from the 2 on the return. Actually, where is Manning? Did he get hurt? I saw in our Twitch chat that they were talking about Manning possibly being hurt. I didn't notice that, but if he's not returning kicks, that's a big problem.
Yeah, that's a big problem. That's definitely a big advantage that gets taken off the table.
So the fullback, JQ, is out there returning kicks. Decent return up to the 27-yard line. And I don't know how we missed that. He got hurt on an earlier kickoff, according to Robert Garrett Jr., who's watching the game from the sidelines and on the field from time to time tonight. Irvine makes the tackle.
Wow, that's a huge loss. Let's hope he gets back out.
I don't know how we missed that. We must have just been
it.
chit-chatting along, talking about how happy we were to have a shootout tonight. 2nd and 11 at the 26. We'll get an update on Manning as soon as we can. That is a big loss. Right now, Storm occupies that spot to the top of the screen. McLean dumps it off to Williams, and Williams only picks up a couple. Irvine with another tackle, and Manning broke his elbow.
Oh, mercy.
And now that gives me a story to tell. One time in league history have I seen a player get a broken elbow and return to the game. That was David Overstreet of the Louisville Wolfpack back in season 5, and he came back and he was holding it up against his chest the whole 4th quarter as he was just trying to will his team to victory. That pass is caught, and that'll help will a team to victory. A 19-yard pickup down the field. This is going to be Andy Mann with the catch, with Manning absent.
So was that sorry if I missed this, was that a playoff game?
It was a playoff game.
Ah,
yeah.
so he had to come back.
Yeah, I think
So
there was some urgency.
Manning's probably not coming back tonight.
I wouldn't think that London would risk too
Right.
much. They are up 8, but going to be really interesting to see how this offense works. Williams is at the top of the screen, the running back, and he's got Arrington on him about 12 yards deep. 1st and 10 of the London 47. McLean dumps it short. Pass is caught. 49 4-yard pickup. That is Robert Garrett Jr. So Manning, signed as a free agent, former Shark in 4 seasons in San Francisco. He had back-to-back 1,000-yard seasons. He already has 4 receiving touchdowns this year, and that's not even to consider his kickoff return and punt return prowess that London will be missing if he does, in fact, not come back into the game, as McLean's pass is caught to the 34-yard line. McLean who? Andy Mann again with his second catch.
So far, so good. I mean, I was going to say that Storm and Calais are going to have to step up, but it looks like they're going a little deeper down the roster, and they're catching everything that's thrown to them.
That is a really difficult catch to make. Aaron Arrington breathing down the neck of Andy Mann. And Mann playing in that number 1 slot there for Manning, with Storm staying in his spot and Kalia in the slot right now. I formation, McLean going longer, wanting to at least, and it's caught!
This is crazy.
What a throw over the outstretched arm of the slot corner,
Wow.
Darnell Lee, and Vin Kalia has 67 yards on 3 grabs in the first half.
Yeah, that was a very small window for Angus McLean to get that ball in. He just rifled it in there. Very impressive.
McLean is now 9 for 11, 183 yards in the first half. We're not even halfway through the second quarter. Empty backfield here for McLean. New Orleans backs off, 4-man rush, flips it out, near side rather, and that's caught by Saren Storm for 4, and that's Storm's first catch on his second target.
Yeah, it looks like they're trying to take up little chunks of yards. I don't think with Manning out they're going to be able to do the long bomb too much.
2nd and 6 at the 18. 7:18 to go in the first half. New Orleans 13, London 21. Be a player in the SFL. Simulation.football is the place to go. Subscriptions are about $1 a month. It is nothing to get yourself on global television at this point, as Robert Garrett Jr. is near a first down, 3rd and 1.
Yeah, they've got 2 tight ends in Garrett and Wood. Let's see if they go to some 2 tight end formations on this as they get closer to the goal line here.
Wall crawler 29-29. Coach Craven, average Joker. Brown Knight, tilted McLean.
Nice run.
And Ray West. Some new faces in the chat here so far tonight. Williams gets the first down.
Yeah, the offensive line just destroyed the defensive line of New Orleans on that one and gave a great hole for Williams to go through.
6:23 to go. London on the move. They have not had to settle for field goals tonight, whereas New Orleans has had 2 field goals on their possessions. Just 1 punt all night. 6:10 to go in the first half. McLean will hand it off. Look at the offensive line. Boy, they just cleared the pathway for Williams, but a nice job by Bryce Lincoln, the 4th overall selection in the season 14 draft, coming up making the play.
Yeah, that was a big play by Lincoln. If he didn't stop Williams on that run, I think he had a clear shot in the end zone.
5:45 to go. McLean's going to go out of the gun, and look how far off Arrington is at the top of the screen here. And they're going to run a quick out route. It's wide open. Kalia couldn't turn the corner, but boy, New Orleans just giving up the easy route to the outside.
Yeah, I'm surprised that they're giving him that much space. I mean, if the pass would have been a little sooner out of his hands, I think we would have been looking at another 7 points on the board.
Shout out to Tony Gloss, 500 in the chat. It's SFL or nothing. I couldn't agree more. 3rd and goal at the 2. Andy Mann at the top of the screen, and now we get some press coverage. 7 in the box for New Orleans. Let's see what London dials up here. Up 8. They're going to hand it off to Williams on the left side, and Williams walks in, barely touched and unscathed as London still on offense. 4 possessions, 4 touchdowns for the Knights.
Yeah, the Knights needed that. I mean, their star wide receiver goes down. Who's going to step up? And it looks like Williams was the one that took the ball and carried the offense on that last series.
Another 3rd down conversion for London, and the Knights started 0 for 2 on 3rd downs. There are now 4 of their last 5. And the Pharaohs are going to need some touchdowns.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, field goals aren't going to work.
The Pharaohs are coming off a triple overtime win over Carolina, and then a 37-31 loss to St. Louis, where they nearly came all the way back and forced overtime in that game. Don't sleep on the Pharaohs. No lead is safe for either of these teams. 28-13 coming on back to the UK. After this, you're watching the Simulation Football League on 11 Sports and For the Fans. 5:20 to go in the first half. 28-13, London leads New Orleans along with Gerald Smith on stats. Charles Doherty, I'm Cameron Irvine, your crew for this primetime matchup on Sunday night from the 8. Arrington, 25 to the 32-yard line. And I heard, Charles, that people at this game get some sort of work waiver for the morning, partying all night.
Yeah, I think they're going to need it. Productivity in London tomorrow is going to be on the low ebb.
Especially off a win when the city is feeling spicy. 5:16 to go in the first half. Ball at the 32-yard line. 28-13. New Orleans has to counter. There's one punt in this first half. It was by the Pharaohs. Reggie Streeter gets the first down of the 47, and that's the most explosive run from Streeter since his first carry of the game.
Well, he was watching Williams when he was on the sideline, and maybe that fired him up a little bit. Get me in there, coach. It's my turn.
Streeter just blowing past just about everybody. And nice job to slow him down. That was Tony Lee, the slot corner. And it allowed, I believe that was Scarborough, able to give chase and get the tackle. First and 10 at the 47. Scarborough wearing a rare 99 at the linebacker spot. 4:42 to go in the first half. Flip outside to Streeter. He's got a lot of running room. Past midfield, 45. Streeter breaks a tackle, and he's shoved out of bounds to the London 40 on a combo tackle led by Cleland.
Yeah, that was a very smart play. London wasn't expecting that at all. Look at the amount of room that Streeter had after he caught that ball. He wasn't touched until he was past the first down line.
That was Streeter's first catch of the night, second catch of the night, rather. And they have they haven't really tipped their hand too much in terms of a game plan. They've been pretty balanced.
Yeah, they've been playing okay, and they haven't been making a lot of mistakes. It's just as they get closer to the goal line, London just starts. They go take it to another level and just lock it down.
Jackson picks up 3. Follow the SFL on social media on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, and more, all at Simulation FL. Make sure to catch more content like The Kramer Show, game highlights, and more by subscribing to our YouTube channel so you don't miss a moment of the action when we're not on television. But we will, Charles, be on television tomorrow and Tuesday for doubleheaders, headlined by the the Atlanta Swarm and the Baltimore Vultures tomorrow night in prime time. Deep shot, goal!
Nice
Caught
pass.
by Cal, touchdown! And New Orleans finally stops kicking those boring field goals and gets a touchdown.
Boy, did they need that. I mean, that's how you respond to London after they had that impressive drive. They got out there and just showed them that they can do it too. Gold is really standing in there and just found Powell wide open. Unbelievable.
Beats Reed deep down the field, and I think it's a little too early to go for 2, so we'll see Powers on to kick the extra point. 4:03 to go in the first half. And as the dust settles just a bit, as Powers kicks that extra point. It's an 8-point game. We catch our breath, and
I think there were a couple spilled beers in the stadium on that one.
Yeah, a little bit unruly out there and frustration. You know, these shootouts, they send fanatics, which is what fans are short for after all, on a wave of emotions, highs and lows. It can be very destructive.
And good beer wasted.
New Orleans punted on their first drive, and they have not seen a punt since. Q on the return to the 24. Well, if you're New Orleans, you're never going to win the game if you don't get a stop. You got to get one at some point.
Yeah, it can't be back and forth here. They're never gonna win this game.
Williams in the backfield, wearing Streeter's old number, which is just a. Now Williams did wear 34 in his past team, so it's not like he stole it from him. And Williams up to 2.9 yards a carry. And these two backs so far this season, Old faces and new places. Streeter, the former Knight. Williams, the former Renegade and Storm member. 4.5 yards a carry for Williams, and both get a lot of carries in these respective offenses.
Yeah, and I'm really impressed with the London offensive line. They've held 4 very solid defensive linemen of the New Orleans Pharaohs to only 1 sack, I believe.
Pass is incomplete. That looked like a slants play, Charles, up the middle, and New Orleans literally collapsed on the middle of the field. There were so many men in white jerseys there. That was shocking that McClain even tried to throw it.
Yeah, that was unlike the way he's been playing for the prior 2 series.
London's been money on third down recently. 3rd and 6. And McClain goes deep, and the pass is knocked away. Pass deflected by Tank Bennett, and that gives us a chance to talk about Tank Bennett. We'll do so after this replay a little bit more in depth. But Bennett, for the New Orleans Pharaohs, I mean, he has been remarkable at strong safety because he's actually led the league in tackles 2 seasons running. How often do you see that? And out of a safety, no less, and he's on pace, Charles, right now, if he continues this season, to break the 154 total tackles he had last season.
That's crazy. And he broke the record for most in a season last year, right? Last season, season 13.
And out there able to do it again. He swats that pass away on 3rd down, and it's the first stop of the night for the Pharaohs defense. So Arrington calls for a fair catch at the 41-yard line, and Xander Gold will trot back out there. These 2 quarterbacks have combined for 393 yards in the first half, 3 touchdowns and a lone interception. Your receiving yards leader right now is Deezer Powell with 75.
Yeah, if you're a big fan of punts, this may not be the game for you to watch.
Who's a fan of punts? 1st and 10 at the 41-yard line. The handoff goes to Streeter.
Nice
Got
run.
a block on a seal
Wow.
to the top of the screen, and a 7-yard gain for Streeter. Tackle eventually made by Russell, and these safeties have been busy.
Yeah, I think that's the second time Russell had to do an open field tackle on Streeter to prevent a long run.
Look at that double team
Yeah,
block
that was great.
on the outs. That was the cornerback, Brandon Ewing, that got double teamed on the outside. Clever blocking there for the Pharaohs. Streeter's got 51 yards on 6 carries. Williams 27 yards on 8 carries on the other side of the ball. 2nd and 3 again to the right side, Streeter. But Streeter had to go a little bit backwards because blowing that play up in the backfield was outside linebacker Samuel Cassidy, and he forced Streeter to adjust.
I think that might have been Brandon Ewing.
Might have been. My eyes are not the best these days.
It's probably. I'll go with yours any day. I just thought I saw 26 out there, but
3rd and 2 at the 49. Everybody's in tight here. They're going to hand it off to Streeter. Streeter's going to pick up the 1st down. No nonsense running out of Reggie Streeter, Charles. He was not thinking about anything else except running forward.
yeah, that is an example of a north-south run. Great blocking up front, but when he got into that second level, it was all Streeter. He had to fight with at least 4 or 5 defenders.
And with that run, that takes us to the 2-minute warning. What an exciting first half. 28-20. London by 8. New Orleans on the move. What a way to cap off 6 games on the XFL slate today. You're watching the Simulation Football League on For the Fans and 11 Sports. Two minutes to go in the first half, 28-20. And the most any team has scored today in a game is 38 by the Vancouver Legion. And London has 28 in the first half. Gold taking a shot, and it's intercepted. Looking for Islani on a go, and the pass is picked off by Brandon Ewing.
Yeah, we said the rookies were going to be challenged, and he stood up there and just met that challenge and brought the ball in. A key interception to get the ball back for London. I think they got enough time to put some more points on the board.
There was actually a little stop-and-go route there for Ajlani, and Ewing was not fooled. First pick for Gold. McLean had one earlier. And, yeah, plenty of time for these offenses. 3 timeouts and 1:56 to go. McLean's out of the shotgun, split backs, and will step up in the pocket and sacked. A 7-yard loss as he's sat down by, who is that out there? That looks like it might be Ray West, and it is.
Wow, that was looked like they did a twist on the line there to confuse the offensive line blocking, and were able to put some pressure on Angus McLean.
Minute and a half left. You mentioned Atlanta in action tomorrow. Sioux Falls also still left to play. Vancouver, the other undefeated team, is now 4-0 with their win. Wow. Pass caught by Storm. That post route is a thing of beauty with Sarah Storm. And a perfectly placed ball away from the defense.
Yeah, he's a great route runner, and got a little extension there to get that ball in. Wasn't put exactly where it needed to be, but nonetheless, we've got a first down.
Timeout by the Knights there at the end of that play to stop the clock and give their offense a chance to get down the field at the 36-yard line. 3 receivers. That's Andy Mann again at the top of the screen. The Knights still winning this game without Gabriel Manning, as McLean fires it short. Pass caught by Robert Garrett Jr. Gain of 3, no huddle will commence, I should say. Tackle made by Lozano Jr. McLean all day fires, and it's knocked away by Dante West on the deflection. Q, the fullback, coming out of the backfield. Now it's 3rd down.
Big 3rd down. New Orleans has got to stop them here because they're on fire. They're moving it almost at will.
3rd down for London. This is already their 8th 3rd down of the half. 28-20 Knights. Manning to throw. Blitz from New Orleans, and they get there. Incomplete pass. Applying that pressure was Ovaltine Jenkins.
Big stop by New Orleans. They've got 59 seconds, and we've seen it before. Especially with these two teams, we can get some more points on the board.
What's going on here? We haven't had a score in the last 90 seconds. Starting to get hives.
Too many points.
Getting itchy. 59 seconds to go in the first half. London up by a touchdown, but that lead is precarious at best. Arrington from the 30 spins away from one. And shoestring tackle actually was nearly made when it was all said and done. 50 seconds left in the first half. What do you think, Charles? Where are they going? I'd go to Powell.
Definitely Powell.
Brandon Ewing proving not to be tested, although any weapon in this offense is a good idea. Even Streeter out of the backfield with 50 seconds to go. New Orleans has all 3 timeouts from the 33, and Gold will flip it out to Streeter, but London's defense waiting. Knights get 3 there, led by Reed. 40 seconds and counting. No timeout taken by New Orleans. They might want to wait and see if they can move the chains before calling a timeout. They're going to hand it off to Streeter. Streeter caught behind his own blocker. Only got 2, and New Orleans wants to reconsider what's happening here in this 1-minute offense.
Yeah, that was an interesting call with under the 2-minute drill to run up the middle. I was expecting at least a throw. I mean, it looked like they had the sidelines open. I thought Agilani was open there.
Tomorrow night, St. Louis at Charleston. The Predators are 2-1. One of only 7 teams over 500 in the league right now, followed by Atlanta and Baltimore. Streeter gets the carry on 3rd and 7, and I think both teams, I think they're pretty content. Let's go to the half. Not so bad.
Yeah, not so bad. It's only 8.
I don't think we'll see this punt from Grass Manis. Although with a new returner back there, you might want to test to see if they can hold on to the ball.
We'll just let it go.
And they will let it go. And that is the end of a thrilling First half of play, 28-20. London leads New Orleans without their superstar receiver, Gabriel Manning, out with an arm injury. And here are your spectacular numbers. You see that third down percentage has been the difference in this game because New Orleans has had to settle for 2 field goals, London 0.
That's amazing. I think that Xander Gold hasn't had a bad half. It's just, again, as they get closer to the to the red zone, it's like a different team.
So London up by 8. McLean leads the passers with 219 yards and 2 touchdowns. And while we take a breath from this insane shootout we're watching, Charles, what has been your favorite storyline of the SFL season so far, or storylines? There's been a few out there. I think mine in particular is the reinvention of Swing City out in Sioux Falls. They look nothing like they have in the past, and they are boggling opponents on how to just, in fact, to stop that offense.
Well, I mean, not my team notwithstanding, I'm excited with what Atlanta's been doing this year. I think I think right now they're the team to beat in the league.
Yeah, I think with their victory over Jacksonville, who hasn't lost since then, and since then has beaten the teams like Florida and Seattle, who are obviously 2 very capable opponents. Atlanta is looking really sharp, and 2, nobody's winless.
Right, that's amazing.
All the teams that were winless last week ended up picking up victories, whether it was at home or on the road. But if that trend is going to continue, and the worst record in the league is going to be 2-4 halfway through the season, boy, we're going to have an even more insane playoff picture than we usually do around here. 10 teams make the playoffs in the SFL out of 20.
That's going to be I can't wait. I mean, last season was fantastic. I think this season's going to be even better.
There's a look at Jason Williams putting the ball in the end zone, and both teams did plenty of that. Here's the deep ball to Powell. What a beautiful throw. And Xander Gold, from the very first time he came in the league, he is one of my favorite career stories, because when he first got in the league, New Orleans was an expansion team, and he had no weapons. There was almost nothing around him. In fact, Ermac Jackson was a rookie and on that team. But he just didn't have a lot around him. And then as the Pharaohs franchise developed, it became clear that Xander Gold was going to have a really awesome career in this high-flying offense.
Yeah, he's the real deal. I mean, anyone that has a career completion percentage over 70%, it impresses me.
(28-20) start of the second half. Gerald Smith, Charles Doherty, and Cameron Irvine with you here this evening. The Knights, without Manning in the lineup with an arm injury, trying to muscle out a victory here against the Pharaohs. Arrington past the 20. If he would have slipped through that, I would have called him the GOAT right then. Aaron Arrington, one of the early favorites to be one of the next inducted into the SFL Hall of Fame. We'll have our 2020 class, our third class, coming in over the summer at the convention. Notice I didn't say where the convention.
Oh, wow. I thought we were going to.
So close.
I held my breath there for a second.
Next week. First and 10 of the 26. Doing our due diligence, as is Reggie Streeter to pick up 9.
Nice run. Nice blocking up there, but when he got past that offensive line, he's just amazing with the ball.
I wouldn't be surprised to see New Orleans go a little Streeter heavy on this opening drive of the second half. Really try to wear down this London defense for a change.
Yeah, that's a smart move, because they're only down by 8 points. If they control the ball, maybe get a couple turnovers, I think they have a good shot.
It's a first down for Streeter. Tackle made by Scarborough. And New Orleans moves the chains. It's their 19th first down of the night. 38 plays on offense for New Orleans. 33 for London.
Yeah, Streeter's quickly approaching 100 yards.
83 on 12 carries. Gold going to throw. Deep drop back from under center. Fires. And not enough room on that near side. Russell swats it away. I believe that Ajlani was the target.
Yeah, that was a hard pass to complete. I mean, there were two defenders there, and he just had to loft that right over their shoulders to get it into that breadbasket, and they were waiting for it.
2nd and 10 at the 37. 9:57 to go in the third quarter. This is a tight set. Look at everybody on the 10 or 9 players on the line here for New Orleans. They're going to look for Streeter, and Streeter was covered, so Streeter cut his route short, and he ended up losing one. Another great play by Brandon Ewing in the secondary.
Yeah, that was an interesting play. They got the ball out quick to him, but the defense was waiting for him. There was no way he was going to get any yards on that.
We've seen a lot of star receivers getting hurt. We've seen Prasad get hurt.
Yeah, I wasn't going to say that you and I have our last game with Carolina, their star returner.
That's right.
Went down.
And we also had that it happened twice with us with Prasad.
Right.
And I don't know what it is about the games that we do is Lonnie gets the reception, but we've had a lot of star receivers hurt recently, and that drive ends up stalling out for New Orleans. They're gonna have to punt this football.
Yeah, that wasn't the best drive they had of the day. I mean, they stalled after the first couple plays, and it looked like, I thought they were going to come out here on fire in the second half, but so far they haven't really been showing much on offense.
So the Pharaohs will punt the ball away, and after only having one punt for almost the entire first half, we've had 4 on recent possessions, and we'll take a break to try and reshuffle the magic 8-ball or whether or not we're going to get a punt on this next drive. 28-20, 9:03 to go in the third. You're watching the SFL on 11 Sports and for the fans. We'll be right back.
First and 10 from your team, 28 yards.
9:03 to play in the third quarter. London by 8 now with the football back. McLean pass caught. First down. That's Vin Kalia up to the 40. Official gain of 13 yards for the Knights.
I didn't see him get up. I hope he's okay.
Oh gosh, don't say that.
Yeah, he got laid out there on the first down marker.
Boy, did he. What a big hit there from Dante West. Let's make sure he's okay. There's Rolliman Hood. He had the pick 6 that tied the game early in the first quarter. And Kalia's all right.
Good.
He's to the outside. Man is inside, and Saren Storms at the top of the screen, the speed burner, as McLean looking that direction, and it's through the hands of Storm. He had a drop problem last week, and I thought he was hurt there just then. He had a couple of drops, but then showed out in the second half.
That was an impressive pass by Angus McLean. Just as he was going down, getting hit by the lineman, he was able to throw in a pretty accurate toss to the wide receiver.
Surprised Hood didn't get flagged for a late hit there. Even if Storm would have caught that looked out of bounds.
Second and 10.
Tank Bennett slashing throats.
He's ready.
Keep it PG, Tank. Jeez. 2nd and 10 at the 40. The league's leading tackle. McLean avoided the sack, nearly threw a pick. In desperation, Levant Irvine nearly took it away. I can't believe McLean got out of that.
That was amazing. I mean, somebody did the wrong blocking on that one. Their assignment, they did the wrong assignment there because he just had a wide open path to the quarterback. And that was great poise by McLean to be able to hang in there and not get the sack.
3rd and 10 at the 40. Split backs here for McLean. This is the longest third down London's had in quite a while. 2 receivers to his left side. Nickel look for the defense. Here comes a blitz, and McLean is sacked. New Orleans defense, they're a very aggressive bunch, and for a while that was sort of their signature. But Ray West getting back there again to make the play to force another punt.
Wow, it's hard to get the ball off when you got that type of pressure on your face. This is just the 4th sack of Ray West for the season. And, man, I think all around, I think anybody could have got to him.
8:05 to play. And it's kind of a slow-moving third quarter as we've had a couple of changes.
Yeah, I think I jinxed us with a punt comment.
It's been really odd and bizarre that we had so much scoring, and now both defenses.
Cam's going to make me sit outside.
No, I did it too. Harrington talking to the Knights team. These two teams have played twice in their history, both games significant. Of course, we touched on the 59-44 game earlier with the record-breaking day from Reggie Streeter, but also in their first ever meeting was the last week of the season. New Orleans won 33-31 to keep London out of the playoffs, and New Orleans, they didn't make the playoffs either. They had a chance if some other stuff were to happen, as Streeter gets the carry and got 2 blocks. 45-50, Reggie Streeter down the near side all the way to the London 40-yard line, and that'll shut up a play-by-play man every time. 117 yards on 15 carries.
Yeah, he crosses the 100-yard mark on that play. Great blocking up front. And
Boom.
Yep.
Boom.
Look at that downfield block, and he was. I thought he was going to take it to the house. The speed of the London defense was able to keep him from getting in the end zone. But what a great play.
Streeter is showing out against his former team.
Yep.
He has come to play tonight, averaging 9 yards a carry. That's a season high.
See if they go back to the well.
Powell, top of the screen in one-on-one coverage. Back to throw. Gold, deep ball into coverage, tipped up and incomplete. Well defended down the field. That was Reed. He was all alone and makes the play.
Yeah, he was. That was great read by Reed. I didn't mean to do that on purpose. I mean, I didn't mean to do that, but came out that way. Sorry.
It's one of the best names for a player in the secondary.
Yeah, there you
sure.
go.
7.5 left here in the third. The last of 6 games on the slate here in the SFL today. It has been a busy day of action. The probably most thrilling and closest game of the day was Tulsa holding on to beat Houston 24-17 in H-Town. Deep ball, middle, caught. Does Clifton ever drop anything
He
over
doesn't.
the middle to the London 21st down? Tackle made by Reed.
He's got Gorilla Glue hands, man. He just he grabbed that down, and like I said at the beginning of the game, he is incredible when you throw it to him. He's up now around 90% completion rate when you throw it to him.
Reed's going to need some oxygen here. He's been all over the field as New Orleans continues to attack deep. They'll pulled everybody tight here. They've thrown to Streeter out of this formation a couple times. They've also ran it. They'll hand it off to Streeter, and Streeter bouncing around. And, boy, falling awkwardly. I thought he was seriously injured. Joe Duncan, who got caught up in that play. Lucky he's all right. Loss of 1.
Yeah, I thought Streeter was going to be able to bounce to the outside, but the linebackers just closed that down.
Powell in the slot. Here to the short side right. Eslani bottom of the screen right above the New Orleans in the score bug. 2 in the backfield, and Powell Gold will fire to the end zone. It's intercepted, and the pass is picked by Ewing, his second. Gold got lit up in the backfield.
That was a great. Again, the rookie Ewing steps up and gets an interception. That's his second interception for the season, I believe. That's the second in the game as well.
Looking for Powell on the corner route, and that brings us to the turnovers. And a fascinating stat you found, Charles, here doing our research prior to the game. Over the last 4 seasons, the total turnovers of these squads. What do you got?
Oh, it's incredible. I mean, everything is pretty close with these guys when they go head-to-head, but it looks like the difference between these guys on the stats, on the London side, they have a minus 36 turnover differential compared to a +1 for New Orleans.
And London has had 105 turnovers in 4 seasons.
Yep.
That's about an average of 25 a season, or 2 per game, if you're wanting to be a math wizard like me.
Well, it's season 11. They had 42, which
Oh,
is pretty
boy.
high. That's hard to recover from.
That is very hard to recover. That is astronomical. 1st and 10 at the 24, but they've kept it pretty clean tonight.
Yep.
Just 1 pick That was early. Hand off to Williams. Only got one. This after the 12-yard pickup for Williams got the first down. Irvine picks up the 5th tackle.
Yeah, that was a big stop by the London defense, and right now they're in the driver's seat, and New Orleans is going to have to do something spectacular on defense.
2nd down and 9. Halfway through the 3rd quarter of play. McLean, 3 steps, fires. Williams out of the backfield, pushes ahead for the first down. It looked like he was going to be thrown backwards, but Williams back-to-back first downs on this series for London.
You don't see that route run very often by the running back, but on that one it was played to perfection. Normally you see him on the swing routes out on the outside in the screens, but rarely do you see him in the middle.
First down for the Knights, methodically moving the football down the field after they started from their own 11. McLean dumps it off. Williams running right into the pressure. And what a tremendous play made by Jenkins to come back to Williams after the pass was thrown.
That was incredible field awareness for Ovaltine Jenkins. His face was pointed at the quarterback, and he was able to just do a samurai swap and turn around and jump on the receiver. That was incredible.
He saw the ball come out. He knew exactly where it went, and that's a lot of tape there.
A guy that big should not be able to turn that fast.
Williams lost 2 more yards, and the tackle in the backfield made by Washington. 3rd and 14, as the defenses here in the second half have held each other to nothing.
Yep, so far New Orleans is doing what they need to do on defense. They've got one more play here.
Pharaohs are 1 of 6. London is 3 of 9 on 3rd downs, but they've failed to convert their last 3. 3rd and 14, McLean, deep, drop back, McLean going deep down the middle, and the one-handed play is made by Dante West in his 5th season by way of Tulsa. He has had a very good ball game tonight, and we get another stop.
That was a great series by the defense of New Orleans. They did everything that they needed to do, get the ball back into Xander Gold's hand and see what kind of magic he can weave.
So yet another punt. What a crazy game. 48 first half points. It feels like watching that triple overtime game between New Orleans and Tulsa, where they scored a whole bunch in regulation and then they had to play 3 overtimes to get just a single point. And we'll take a break. 3:47 to go in the 3rd quarter. You're watching the Simulation Football League on 11 Sports and For the Fans. We're back after this.
You're back. Let's go.
3:47 left in the 3rd. 16 carries, 117 yards for Reggie Streeter, 7.3 yards per carry. And he's got plenty left in the tank here with under 4 to go in the 3rd frame. 3 receivers for Gold. Everybody healthy for New Orleans. Gold in some trouble, throws it away. Nobody open. Look at that blanket coverage down the field.
Great coverage downfield and a great pass rush up the middle. Looks like they sent an extra guy in there and was able to the pocket was able to collapse and made Xander move on the run and throw it.
Minson Mind in the chat saying, I can't wait till Nola scores 8 points in the last second and the game goes into quadruple overtime. Oh, Lordy. 3:40 to go. Another heavy set here for the Pharaohs. It's been run with mixed results here tonight as Streeter picks up 2. I think the most successful look out of that has been the run to the outside.
Right.
London has really done a nice job on Streeter inside. Cleveland with the tackle.
Yeah, he did have that. I believe that was him that had that long north-south run. Maybe that was.
It was, yeah, on his second big
That was like
burst.
12
of the game.
yards maybe.
Yeah, you're right. Since then, been pretty quiet. 3rd down and 8. Empty backfield here. 4 receivers. Dime 3-2 look for London. Back to pass. Gold. Hit as he threw. Wide open man is Powell. And Powell's got the first down of the London 40. How did Powell get so wide open down the field?
I mean, I was watching that play develop, and I for sure thought that William Davidson, I believe that was William Davidson that was able to punch through, was going to just lay out Xander Gold. But, the thought of that guy coming at you, I don't know how Xander Gold was able to stand there and just get rid of that ball so perfectly.
$2.45 for Gold here, 77.2 QBR to the London Knight 40. And for the first time in this half, somebody is on the other side of the 50 after the shootout in the first 22 minutes. Streeter on a check down past the 35, gets 5 and steps out of bounds.
I think that's an effective play. I mean, he didn't get a ton of yards there, but I think if they keep going to that well, I think it's going to turn out to be pretty productive.
Second down for New Orleans. Visit sector6apparel.com for all league and team apparel, including hoodies, t-shirts, team jerseys, and more. Yours looks sharp tonight, Charles. Sector 6, the official apparel provider of the SFL. 2nd and 5 at the 35-yard line as Gold drops to throw, fires, Powell at the sticks. The room just short at the 30.
That's amazing.
And back to Sector 6, Charles. You're wearing your Pseudo Nakai jersey tonight. How's it feel? Love the material.
It's really comfortable. I mean, it's amazingly comfortable, especially when you win.
That reminds me of that half-wash commercial that they always play where the chick is just rude to that guy that's got that wrinkly shirt. You look amazingly comfortable. Wow. You seen that? Maybe it's just me. That's not a first down for Reggie Streeter, and that's not a good segue.
I'll go see if my wife's rude to me when I go home.
Just ask your wife. Just say, have you seen that half-washed commercial? I think it's by Tide. I don't know. I don't know. I must watch too much TV. New Orleans keeps their offense on the field. 4th and 1 at the 30. Will they actually go for it here? They could get 3 points on the board with a field goal. Down to 10 on the play clock. London has jumped once earlier in this game. Down to 5, down to 4, and New Orleans will burn the timeout. And in that situation, Charles, I don't like it often, but in that situation, I don't mind that play or that decision by New Orleans, because if they jump off sides, you're getting a first down and you're moving, because you don't really want to kick the field goal here. You'd like to keep the drive moving.
But that's a tough decision to make when you've got Reggie Streeter in the backfield.
Yeah, I hear you. They could have picked up one, but they'll take the safe route. I can't blame them for that either, because London hasn't scored in the second half, and Gabriel Manning is still out of the game. So your defense is playing pretty solid. 47-yard field goal for New Orleans. Powers, the former Knight, on to attempt it. It would be his 3rd field goal of the night. He's hit his previous 2. Good snap. And the kick is money, although didn't have a lot on it, but Powers just scrapes it over the crossbar. And New Orleans cuts the deficit to 5. They've been trailing all night. The Pharaohs trying to take advantage and get the lead. We'll be back to London after this. You're watching the Simulation Football League on 11 Sports and for the fans. Don't go anywhere.
Sorry.
1:24 to go in the third quarter. New Orleans 23, London 28 here in week 4 of the Simulation Football League. These two teams are 1-2, but have looked dynamic all season long. As the Knights get it up to the 24. London lost Gabriel Manning in the first quarter, but have led the entire way outside of a tie or two.
Yeah, I'd like to see them get Jason Williams a little bit more involved in there. He started out strong at the beginning of the game. I don't think we've seen a lot of him. Well, not on this play, we won't see him.
Empty set here for McLean with 9 or 8 rather on the line. 2 deep safety. McLean off his back foot throws across the field looking for Robert Garrett Jr. And there he is again, Dante West. He has been a force
Was that a back foot throw or was that a jump pass? It looked like he
It
jumped
looked
in
like
the air
both.
to throw it.
Yeah, it looked like
Wow,
both.
That's an old school pass. They don't do that much anymore.
That was dangerous, very risky. And when things have been going pretty good tonight for McLean, and it's shocking. You know, London has not scored in this second half, but it doesn't feel like their offense has sputtered in any
No,
way.
it doesn't.
Same with New Orleans. 3 receivers, hand off Williams. Williams gets a couple of blocks, can't get away, and Williams just
That's
powers.
what he can do when you give him the ball.
Woo! Powers those
Wow.
legs to the 32.
Yeah, I mean, you got to keep feeding him. I think he's gonna, you'll eat up the clock, but I think he's gonna punch out some big gains as well.
Eddie Gage in the chat says, broken elbow, man up, my goodness. I'd like to see Eddie if I broke his elbow.
You rub some dirt on it.
Yeah, 3rd and 3 at the 32. And McLean, oh, it hit him in the hands. Saren Storm was wide open, and I think the Pharaoh player obstructed his view, and by the time the ball got to Storm, it hit him right in the lap.
I don't think he expected the ball to get over that defender. Honestly, it's like, wow, where'd this come from?
Wow. I mean, just from our perspective, I thought the ball was going to be deflected, and I think Storm just lost sight of it.
Yep.
But he's got a couple more drops to his young career, and the boom or bust speedster has been a little bit more bust than boom tonight, but still plenty of game to go. Arrington made one man miss and some 24-on-24 crime and gets it up to the 33. So once again, the Pharaohs have a chance to take the lead coming down the end of the third quarter.
Yeah, it seems like they've been moving the ball a little bit better than London has, but I just like I said on the London side, you can't forget your running back.
1st and 10 at the 33 for Gold out of the gun. Gold to pass, dumps it short, wide open. You see Clifton just kind of standing there in the slot. Nice play, picks up 5.
Yeah, I think he was did a little bit of blocking and just slid into that open seam and was wide open.
The worst injury I've seen in the SFL. Harish Prasad has suffered a torn MCL and broken kneecap. I've also seen a separated shoulder. Not a torn shoulder, I should say, as Streeter picks up a couple, 3rd and 3. That is the end of the third quarter. Put your 4s up in the chat. Charles has his 4s up in the booth, and London's still up by 5. This shootout has turned defensive, and we're back to London in a moment. Start of the fourth quarter, 28-23. London by 5, trying to hold on as Gold's pass is caught by Aslani, and he steps out at the New Orleans 47, runs into Saren Storm and says that's how you catch a pass.
Yeah, he's open again. I mean, it's quite the luxury when you've got your number 2 wide receiver is Ajalani. I mean, he always finds a way to get open.
Let's go.
Shout outs to Xander Gold, Twilight IMF, and Problem Fox, Highwind Man Robinson, Coach Craven, Project Crusade, Eddie Gage, Brown Knight, McLean, Chris 20 or 250 505. Deep shot is caught, a little underthrown, but Powell makes up for it. The tackle made by Russell actually forced Powell out of bounds, but a long bomb gets New Orleans into the red zone.
Yeah, let's see this here on the replay. Well, I think he had pretty decent protection up there. Great route he ran. He had a good 3 steps on the defender, and it was great play. Great play.
What do you think of this London 3-4 look? We don't see a lot of teams going 3-4. Every now and again, depending upon the matchup, you'll see it. But London's been in it a lot tonight. They're in it again.
Well, I mean, if you got the personnel, I mean, it works, but you got to have the right personnel, especially on a 3-4.
Flip out Streeter, 2015. Streeter 10, breaks
Wow.
a tackle down to the 6. First and goal, a pickup of 12 for Reggie Streeter on the reception.
Yeah, that was a classic power run by Streeter. He's fighting his way. He's got to get in that end zone and get a touchdown for him now that Williams has got one under his belt.
Wrap up at the end of this play. Made by Mike Lazowski. First time we've said his name tonight. First and goal at the 6. McLean is 17 for 28. Check that. Gold is 26 for 36 for 314. Streeter has 34 yards on 6 receptions. First and goal for the 6. Handoff Streeter running right. Reggie Streeter strung out and could not get away. Nice juice from Cassidy on the outside. We've seen a lot out of those outside linebackers in this 3-4 look.
Yeah, that was good closing speed by Cassidy. I thought that Streeter had a clear line to the end zone.
Second and goal at the 6. 2 in the backfield. That's Clifton off the left side. Handoff Streeter. Running right behind the fullback. Streeter gets to the 3. Third and goal. It'll be the 61st offensive play for New Orleans. What do they do?
What to do? I mean, I'd give it to Streeter. I'd give it to Streeter off the edge. I mean, it's been effective. It's going to be a lot harder to do with this part of the field,
but only 3 down linemen here on the goal line with 6 up front. Third and goal at the 3. Gold's going to throw. Gold fires.
Wide open.
It's caught for a touchdown.
Wow.
Deezer Powell kept the feet in, but I'd like to take another look at it.
Let's take a look at that. I didn't think. I mean,
That
was it
close.
a low pass? I mean, where did he? It looked like he caught it down by his knees. I got to see this again. My eyes may be playing tricks on me here.
Let's see it. Did he get a foot in? This is a big call. Oh, I think he did.
Yeah, that was a good catch.
Wow. Well, now London wants to challenge, and we'll get a third look at it. I think they're going to lose this one, though, Charles.
I think he had a 1.5 feet.
New Orleans takes their first lead of the day. If the call stands.
Where was the defender?
Oh, he tapped it.
Seriously.
I see that. We're paused. We're coming back. And upon further review, the ruling is going to stand, and London is going to be charged a timeout. And so New Orleans takes the lead, 29-28, and they're not, Charles, going to go for 2. I thought they would to go up 3.
Yeah, that's an interesting call. But on that touchdown pass, I mean, how wide open can you be on a pass? It didn't look like it looked like the cornerback was playing zone and just stood in his spot.
The extra point is up and good with 8:50 to go. New Orleans leads 30-28 And now this London team is the only team in this series to have scored less than 30 in a game.
Well, you know, their last 5 possessions have been punts, so hopefully London can turn that around and put some points on the board, because they definitely need to at this point of the game.
This is Q. Still no Manning, out with a broken arm. Q on a return of the 23.
Not bad for the fullback.
So the Knights shut out in the second half. It's 10-0. Pharaohs have outscored London in the second half. But London just a field goal away from taking the lead again.
I don't think he can give up the run, but it looks like they're still going to pass.
First and 10 of the 23, 8:46 to go in the ball game. McLean fires, caught by Garrett Jr., breaks a man miss, and Robert Garrett Jr. gets a block downfield 30, 25, 20 in a foot race with Hood, and Hood gets a touchdown-saving tackle all the way down to the Pharaoh 18-yard line.
Well, so much for me saying they need to run the ball. That was a great play in the middle. Garrett was wide open. He had to jump up to catch that ball, though, and just, that was incredibly fast for a tight end.
Irvine missed him, and then Williams and Kalia got blocks down the field. And a great job by Hood. Look at him come into your picture, cutting off the angle on the big tight end. Great camera work there.
Yeah, great camera work and great effort on by the cornerback bringing him down.
Man, New Orleans had that play stopped, but Robert Garrett Jr. somehow able to get away. The pass goes for 59 yards, and Garrett Jr. now has 71 on 4 grabs. First and 10 of the Pharaoh 18. Check down Williams. Williams in some trouble. Lost a yard. And Williams in the pass game, just 15 yards on 5 receptions, has been ineffective.
Yeah, I think it's going to be this is going to be a perfect area to get the running back involved in a little bit more up the middle, maybe off the sides. Off tackle.
Remember Garrett Jr. in the chat saying, I got to up my stamina. As McLean is going to be sacked, an 8-yard loss. 3rd and 19 coming up, and back to the stamina conversation you can in the SFL. Improve your player every week, and that's exactly what Garrett Jr. is talking about. Jenkins makes another play in the backfield tonight. He has been their number 1 defensive lineman.
Yeah, it looks like the defensive line overloaded the left side of the offensive line, and they had nothing to stop them, and it just ended poorly for London on that play.
3 receivers, 2 to the short side right on a 3rd down and 19. This could be time for Saren Storm. Deep drop back from McLean. McLean going down the deep middle of the field. Pass is caught for a touchdown. Vin Kalia with the score, and London's back in front.
That was amazing. They almost had Angus McLean again. The pocket was closing down. He stood in there, and he was actually hit and going down as he threw the ball and was able to make that accurate pass.
A bullet, and Tank Bennett was looking for another tackle. He couldn't make it. And London will also not go for 2. They'll just kick the routine extra point. And to that point, Charles, if New Orleans would have gone for 2 on that last possession, they might be down 6 instead of 5. And who knows if an extra point goes awry later down the road. That kick is good, and with 7:04 to play, London is back in front, 35-30. You're watching the Simulation Football League on 11 Sports and For the Fans. Stay tuned. Three meetings, and all 3 meetings, both teams in this New Orleans and London matchup have scored over 30 points. This is becoming one of the most exciting matchups on the SFL schedule each and every season as Aaron Arrington makes one-man miss, gets past the 30 and down to the 32-yard line. And Xander Gold will head out back to the field, and it's a quarterback battle for the ages. McLean's got 327, and Gold's got 317.
Yeah, definitely a quarterback battle. Xander Gold's having a good game with 317 yards and 94.1 quarterback rating.
Streeter's in the backfield. Heavy set here again for the Pharaohs. They'll hand it off inside. And Streeter got a late block. Oh, man, that was dangerous. Picked up 11.
Yeah, he was one defender away from breaking that to the end zone.
Get another look at it. Good blocking down the field.
Yeah, nice blocking. The offensive lineman went with him, and I thought he was going to lay out the defender and give him a perfect route to the end zone.
Maurice Gentry out there. If you're new to the SFL, get your spot in the SFL Minor League SFLM today to #claim your spot and begin your SFL career. Subscriptions are going fast, and the inaugural kickoff begins in April. First Pro subscribers get first priority on choosing their position, so don't delay. Xander Gold, don't do that. Intercepted down the field and returned into New Orleans territory. The pass is picked off. And it's Jack Russell.
Wow. Yeah, the defense looked like they were waiting for it. There were two defenders there when the pass came out. Not shake your head a little bit, maybe second guess why that call was played, but I think they'll have a chance to get the ball back here if the defense is, rises up a little bit.
There's Aslani back to the bench, and that one just hurts, as New Orleans just a couple of minutes ago had the lead in this game. McLean, middle, Garrett gets laid out. McLean saying, oh, there was interference. No, right, bro, you left your receiver out to dry.
Yeah, you threw the ball in the mosh pit. You can maybe do that once or twice, but you're going to pay eventually.
6:15 left, and after that hit on Garrett Jr., look at Kalia's numbers. Signed
what a
last week.
That's incredible.
2nd and 10. And Williams got a few. Lincoln on the tackle. I haven't seen a lot of 3-yard plays tonight.
No, definitely not. I mean, so far the New Orleans defense is holding in there. They just got one more play to do their job.
3 for 12. London has failed to convert their last 6 third downs. They were 3 for 6. Back to pass McLean. Deep drop back. McLean is sacked.
Big sack.
Loss of about 8 way in the backfield, and that is Chris Leone making the play.
Yeah, I think they were looking for that deep route to develop downfield, and they were all covered up, and it's just a matter of time before one of those 4 outstanding linemen gets to the quarterback.
New Orleans defense gets the stop. 5.5 to go. 4th and 15, and an obvious punting situation for London. It'll be their 6th. And Charles, they had punted on 4 straight possessions earlier.
Yeah, I think
in the game.
5.
5 straight possessions. They hit a slump. Still up 5, but the ball back in the hands of Xander Gold. And Arrington gets it up to the 22-yard line. So, looking back at New Orleans this season, what a whirlwind. Triple overtime.
Right.
Xander Gold wins the game on a deep ball to Jackson. Ends it. Then last week, down in this very situation, had opportunities to come back, took advantage of it. Clifton had an insane one-handed catch. They lost 37-31. I mean, this is getting to be routine for the Pharaohs, but they have been in every single game this season as Gold is going long, and it is incomplete.
Dangerous.
Should have been picked. Russell could have had his second. Clifton.
There's no hurry here, folks. I mean, you've got a stud running back, and give him the ball a couple times so the defense doesn't get set and wait for those passes.
These two offenses, if they were driving cars, they just blow through red lights. They are not waiting for anybody. 2nd down and 10. Coach Craven in the chat saying this game bringing the drama. Absolutely. Reggie Streeter's return has been a good one to London, but his new team, the Pharaohs, are down 5. Gold Flips it out. Streeter.
No.
He tried to stay in bounds, but his momentum carried him for a 2-yard loss.
Yeah, that's tough the way that ball was placed. I mean, you have to lead him a little bit or get him the ball earlier in the play for him to be able to turn and take it upfield.
3rd and 12. New Orleans 3 for 10. This their 12th drive of the game. Gold's 28 for 40 for 315. He's all alone back there and will fire it deep down the middle of the field. It's caught by Clifton. He catches everything. You're seeing Clifton first down at the 46.
Wow.
He has been the man for the Pharaohs late in games.
Yeah, he is Mr. Glue. I mean, anytime you throw it to him, that's the type of pass that's not supposed to be caught. I mean, look at all the defenders around him, and he's just, I mean, he is 6'7". That definitely gives him an advantage, but wow. That's a remarkable catch.
Tight ends have different intangibles all across the league. I think he has the best hands of any tight end in the SFL. He high points the ball like no other. 1st and 10 at the 46 off the insane completion on 3rd and long. Gold going to flip it out. Streeter gets a block. Streeter 50. Streeter forced out of bounds at the 45-yard line, but it will stop the clock. Stellar block out there by tackle Joe Thornton.
Now, to your point about Clifton earlier, it's amazing a guy with hands like that. He's only been targeted in the last couple games 8 times. I mean, if I was a quarterback, I'd be looking to him first.
I would too. Although Powell has had his moments, but Clifton, man, in the clutch this season, there's been nobody better. Handoff to Streeter. Didn't get it. Wow. Clock will continue to run 3rd and inches. How many more opportunities are either of these teams going to get?
Yeah, let's see if they go to the well again and try and get a running first down here.
I'd like to see a little of that little curl by Clifton again. The one he caught for 5 yards a little bit earlier. Heavy look here. Under 4 to play. Offside London. That's going to be an automatic first down.
Look at that run.
There goes Streeter.
Oh.
Streeter to the 33. They'll decline the penalty, a pickup of 11. That tackle at the end made by Scarborough. But Reggie Streeter does it again for New Orleans. They'll move the chains, and the clock will continue to run.
Yeah, I had to hold my breath on that one. I thought he was going to take it to the house. Great blocking up front.
Matthew Braun jumped offside. The 7th pick in the rookie draft. Been a little quiet tonight. It'll be a first down at about the 32-yard line. 3:45 left. And actually, the clock stops during the penalty.
That's strong formation again.
Yeah, New Orleans has been going to this a lot here in the 4th quarter. Throw to Streeter, and it was a little bit behind him as Streeter tried to cut up field early.
I think he had some real estate if he caught that ball. They caught London surprised on that play. I think they were expecting a run up the middle, and they did that swing pass, and he had, like I said, he had a lot of room open to take it to the house.
Sometimes you're just simply not in sync.
Definitely.
Not us, though.
Yes, no, we're like the clockwork.
2nd and 10 at the 32. They jumped
again.
Offside again. And Gold over.
Oh, my gosh.
We both jumped out of our seats there as Powell went flying, trying to get that ball. It was a little overshot. I think Gold got just as excited as we did on that offside.
Wow. He was flying in the air to catch that ball.
Another missed opportunity there. And that offside's on Tony Adamson. And London, a little jittery here at home down the stretch.
Man. I mean, they were smart by going deep on that one. I mean, when you get a freebie like that.
Clifton's got 87 yards on 6 catches, 7 targets. Stay away from Brandon Ewing. He has done a great job on Badir Islani.
Yeah, very impressive for the rookie.
63 yards on 5 grabs. 2nd down and 5. Gold in a crowded pocket. And turning around just in time was Stephen Cleveland, who's been very involved tonight.
They dodged a bullet on that one.
If he was looking from the beginning, that was going the other way.
Definitely.
Here we go.
We're in 2-down territory.
3rd and 5. 3:36 left. 3 receivers. to the right. 7 in the box, London. They're going to hand it off to Streeter. Got nothing on third down. Wow. William Davidson makes the stop, and now what do you do?
You go for it, and you look for Clifton. That's what I would do.
They're going to kick it.
That's interesting.
They have 2 timeouts and the 2-minute warning.
Yeah.
But God, in this type of a climate, this offensive game, it could come back to bite the Pharaohs. Or it could be their greatest reward. That extra point is good. And now a field goal wins it for New Orleans if they can get the ball back. If they can get the ball back, 35-33. And are they going to onside kick this?
Interesting.
With 3:02 to play?
Yeah.
Wow, that's surprising.
Definitely surprising. I don't.
New Orleans getting aggressive on special teams, and that is fielded at the 40 successfully by Jarvis Bagwell. And now New Orleans needs to keep London at a field goal range and right back where they started.
Yeah, they got to keep London from getting first downs too, and eating up the clock. They need something big here on defense and get that ball back from a turnover.
Wow, 3:01 to go. New Orleans conservative, then aggressive. We'll see if it pays off. Hand off to Williams. Picks up 4. They'll wind the clock. Although, New Orleans seems to be better with a long field, don't they, sometimes?
Yeah, sometimes, definitely.
Maybe the field was too short for them at that point to go for it on 4th down. 2nd and 6. 2:35 to go. Ball at the New Orleans 35-yard line. Nickel look for New Orleans defense. It looked to be in man. Winding the clock. This will be the last snap before the 2-minute warning for London. They'll hand it off, and Williams almost got the first down. Got another 4. So London now in field goal range for J.T. Delaney, although it's right on the outskirts of it. 3rd and 2, the biggest play of the game coming up when we come back from the 2-minute warning break. London by 2, trying to hold on. What a night. You're watching the Simulation Football League on 11 Sports and For the Fans. Back in a moment. Two minutes left. London leads 35-33, and New Orleans has to get off the field on this 3rd and 2, or their night is probably over. Handoff, Williams. Did he get it? They say he's short, and that might be worth a booth review as New Orleans burns a timeout and stays alive. Saving the first down was Levant Irvine.
That was a big stop. I mean, let's see. Are they going to measure that? I mean, are they going to take this to review? Because it looked pretty close on the spot.
That's tough. No review, and this is the first field goal attempt for the rookie J.T. Delaney, signed this week from 47 yards. Talk about a pressure situation for the newcomer. 47-yard field goal for London to go up 5, and the field goal for Delaney is good from officially 46, and a touchdown wins it for New Orleans.
What a kick. A big kick there for the rookie. Welcome to the SFL.
So essentially the Pharaohs end up right back where they were before that last drive, and all things considered, they still have 1 timeout left, and they're probably going to be the last team to touch the ball, so it worked out for them in the end.
Well, maybe my prediction works. Last team to score wins.
It could be. I mean, they still have to do it.
I gotta be right on something.
And touchdowns have been a little bit harder to come by in the second half. Here comes Arrington Arrington past the who cares. Demolished at the 26-yard line. I haven't seen a player hit the floor so fast in years.
That was a big hit by Mike Lazowski.
74 yards to glory as New Orleans is once again in another thriller in the 30s. Fatality, says Eddie Gage in the chat. Gold hit as he threw. Oh, he got blindsided. What a throw.
Wow.
He got nailed. In fact, he got hit so hard it turned him sideways. And Ermac Jackson made the catch. 1:35 to go. Gold, deep drop, fires again. It's almost intercepted. And Ewing nearly had a hat trick.
Yeah, I think that interception could be that incomplete could bode well though for New Orleans, because then they get to swap out the personnel and the play on this.
Did you see how Gold got turned around? He got hit so
Corkscrewed.
hard. That was a tremendous throw. And Jackson, who's been a little quiet tonight,
they're staying on the eye.
Just 34 yards on 3 catches, makes a critical one there. Still in the eye. 2nd and 10 for the 42. Blitz picked up. Deep ball off the hands of the intended receiver. Davidson applied pressure and Ajlani dropped it.
Wow. He had to put it all out to get that. I mean, that was a hard pass to catch.
Man, Gold, that reminded you of the Super Bowl, kind of. I mean, he
gosh,
laid it out there right in the bucket. Could have won it. And it was just a little too far out of Ajlani's reach. 3rd and 10, the chant's going nuts. Xander Gold says, I'm sick. 1:26 to go in the 4th. Changes the play. Gold, deep ball. It could have been caught. And then a big hit by Clifton as he was going for the football off the deflection. It's 4th down. A heads-up play by Reed down the field to knock Clifton to the ground since it had been tipped, no PI.
Yeah, I thought it was going to be set into his hands after that deflection.
Wow, another heads-up play by Reed. Empty backfield here for Gold on 4th and 10. They need the London 48 to stay alive. Gold to throw. Fires. Oh, no, that's not the route. And New Orleans turned the ball over. Oh, that is not the throw.
No, definitely not. I was going to say you don't need to go as deep as they did on the last one, but I think that one, that was overkill. That was a little too short.
And what's Ajlani thinking there in that situation?
He's just executing orders.
Just stop, but I mean, just stop your feet.
Oh, yeah, right.
He acted like he didn't know where the sticks was. Right. He was totally lost. He thought he had the first down. And I think that's it. If the math is right on this, London can just run the clock out, and New Orleans will lose the game on a just bad execution on 4th down. And London, after a complete overhaul in the offseason, after 5 players have been swapped out already, they've been the busiest team in transactions this season as they try to, get a cohesive unit together. And after all this turmoil, London is going to be 500, and they are a scary ball team.
They are a scary team. I mean, they can put points up on the board against anyone. They really can, and they've got a pair of rookie cornerbacks that are only going to get better. I mean, they were tested tonight against a quality receiving core of New Orleans, and they held in there. I mean, there was a lot of yards and the scoring, but they held their own, I think.
Next week, London will visit Mexico City in an international battle, and that should be fun as the Aztecs are trying to avoid a 1-3 start. They take on Jacksonville Tuesday night in one of the league's best rivalries. As for New Orleans, a 1-3 team, but probably the scariest 1-3 team in all the league, they will host the Jacksonville Kings. They've had some problems with Jacksonville in the past, but that should be one heck of a fight. That Jacksonville defense against this New Orleans offense should be fun to watch.
It should be fun to watch, definitely.
So the final seconds tick away. And New Orleans will have to go back into the locker room and lick their wounds after this one. A 1-3 team, but a very, very competitive 1-3 team. They've lost by 11 points combined in the last 2 weeks alone.
A
And
long flight
London,
home.
Yeah, tell me about it. Long flight home. London gets the win, 38-33. And here's a look at your final numbers. Kudos to Gerald Smith, who kept stats for us all night. It was phenomenal. And look at New Orleans. Outgained London 516 to 373. Had the ball for longer. Streeter had 148 yards in his return to his former team, and they still lost.
I mean, how about wide receiver Vin Kalia? I mean, he had a big game. Gabriel Manning went down. He had over 100 yards receiving, and I believe he had a couple touchdowns as well.
As we run through the highlights, what a night. Who would be your player of the game for London? They win without Gabriel Manning.
Yeah, that's amazing. But I'd have to give it to Angus Tilted Kilt McLean on that one. He had a great game. I mean, 115 QBR, 3 touchdowns, 1 interception, 20 for 32. It's crazy. I mean, he showed strength in his arm that I didn't think he had.
He wasn't tilted tonight, and London has shown time and time again that when they don't turn the ball over, they're just as good as anybody in this league.
Definitely.
Turnovers have always been sort of that Achilles heel, but just one tonight, very early, and London took care of business.
Yeah, and they did on defense. Again, they had a lot of yards against them, but they got 4 interceptions on goal. I mean, the secondary, the young secondary is only going to get better.
So London gets to 2-2. They join Florida, Vegas, Tulsa. There were 13 teams coming into today that were 2-2 or 1-2, so something had to give. All of those teams won earlier today, and they get to 500, a third of the way through the SFL regular season. Don't forget tomorrow night, St. Louis and Charleston. The early game as the Predators try to get to 3-1. St. Louis going for their second win in a row and their first win on the road. There's that shot that Gold took that turned him sideways. But that drive ended in a turnover on downs. And then in the nightcap, the biggest game of the week, the 3-0 Atlanta Swarm at the 2-1 Baltimore Vultures in a rematch of last season's quarterfinal war. McLean, 20 for 32, 323 yards, 3 touchdowns, a QBR of 114.5. And London gets the win, 38-33. For all of us at SFL headquarters and a part of SFL production, this has been a presentation of the Simulation Football League. I am your play-by-play commentator.